Hey everyone, and welcome to another terrible day in my ugly world. I'm Jeppo, and today I'm going to be talking about Torticollis while I build. Torticollis is a condition that I have that... Well, I'll get to that in a minute. But first, what I'm building here is going to be the villager trading hall. You can remember in the last couple episodes I've been building the XP farm from the zombie spawner and converted it to an XP farm and villager treatment, and I wanted to set this up nearby to for the trading basically. So today while I'm talking I'm going to be building this. We're not too far. There's a tunnel. It's blocked off at the moment, but the tunnel there where that stone is goes down to the in that direction to the XP farm. So I'll just use carts to bring up the villagers once they're cured and set this up. I don't know how many villagers I'll put in here. It's going to be a fair size, but yeah, I might have 2 of each different type of villager just to maximize the amount of trades I can do. I'm not going to be too fussed about getting the best deals. I figure in the long term it's going to work itself out. It's not a big hassle for me. I'm not too worried about wasting materials. But then that may change. If I get more villagers, I'll be able to do that. Okay, so this is what we're building today. It's a simple little design. It's just going to be a hut, and I did make a mistake. I've used slabs here at the front and put the fences above them, which means there's a gap there, so I'll probably have to fill in with slabs around the edge. I'm hoping it won't change the look of it too much, but I'll just have to see how that goes. And we're not too far from the desert. It's just over there. Our base is over that way. You can probably see it from up here. It's just over there, just over that hill. So it's not too far away, but then again it's not too close either. I want to spread things out in this world. And I was thinking to keep the zombies away so they don't keep wandering up, knocking down the doors, I'll put fences all the way around this area, maybe 4 or 5 blocks out, about there. Just have it go around, right around the building so that the zombies don't wander in all the time. Okay, now for the other thing, does it look right? I think that looks okay. Okay, I have a condition called Torticollis, and the reason I'm bringing that up now is I've just recently had injections in my neck and shoulders for that. So it's been on my mind, and people like friends of mine have been asking, and it's just, I don't know, people just don't seem to get the whole idea of what it is or how it affects me. So I just wanted to get that out. I'm not looking for sympathy. Sympathy is not going to help me at all. It will do nothing. It's not going to make me better. It's not going to really help that much. I'm more looking at just having some understanding out there, because it becomes so frustrating. People will ask me questions about it, and I get the same questions all the time, and it's really just annoying and frustrating. So I just want people to understand, and chances are you do know someone who has this, and it's actually fairly common. Okay, so, well, okay, where do I start? Maybe I should start with a bit of background about me, since I haven't really talked about me at all in these videos. I've really just been talking about the games, gameplay, whatever. So, a bit of background for me. I'm actually an Australian and currently living in Singapore. Okay, the way that happened is kind of a roundabout way, actually. Right, I was in Australia, grew up in Australia, in Brisbane, if anyone knows that, if there's any Aussies listening or anyone who's familiar with Australia. Brisbane, it's in Queensland. I am a Queenslander, a banana bender. I barrack for the Maroons. Most of you don't know what that is. It's a football team, Queensland football team. And every year there's a state of origin where New South Wales and Queensland play against each other. Okay, I'm confusing myself what I'm doing. But anyway, that doesn't really matter, I guess. I moved to Indonesia after I got married, actually. My wife is Indonesian. She was studying in Australia at the University of Queensland. And we actually met online first, before meeting in real life. And yeah, we met online, got married a year later, and she was under a contract where she had to return to Indonesia to work for a couple of years. And so we got married and I followed her there. I actually spent 6 years living in Indonesia. First we moved to Jakarta, where her family is, and from there, it's getting dark. From there, after about 6 months living and working there, I was teaching English as a foreign language. She worked for the Indonesian government. After about 6 months in Jakarta, we were both offered jobs in an island called Batam, which is, how do I explain it? It's an island about 20 kilometers away from Singapore, and we both got offered jobs working for a government agency there. It was a lot of fun. We spent 6 years working there, and after that time I did a combination of things when I was working there. My wife was primarily in marketing for the Industrial Development Authority there, and I did some marketing, but I also taught English to the staff, and I started working at the Polytechnic, which was set up by the government. That's for people who finished high school. It's sort of not quite college, but it's more than, it wasn't really just a technical school. They had accounting courses, for example. I can't remember what other courses now. But I taught the students there English again, which is, well, I got an English teaching degree before I moved to Indonesia. Eventually, after 6 years in Batam, we moved to Singapore. We both got jobs again here. I was teaching English at that stage again, and my wife was working for a shipping company. But basically her main job was liaising between the company and the Indonesian government. How high am I making this building? Okay. Anyway, since then we've been living in Singapore. We've actually been here 11 years now. So if you're counting, that means it's been almost 17 years. Is it 17? Yeah, about 17 years. Almost, well, 16 and a half, coming on to 17 years living away from Australia. It's a long time. But yeah, we've been living here 11 years. 7 years ago, well, 6.5 years ago, my son was born. He's actually made a couple of videos if you want to check them out on this channel, doing what was it, Sly Cooper Thieves in Time. He doesn't talk a lot in the videos yet, but when he's not being recorded, he talks all the time, does commentary. He's very entertaining. I'm hoping he'll do a lot more of those, because I think people love them. And here we are. He's 6.5 now. He started primary school, or elementary school if you're North American. And alright, now I guess that brings up to now the Torticollis. I was diagnosed with that about 7 years ago now. It wasn't long before my son was born. And let's see, as I said before, I'm not looking for sympathy, I'm not looking for money or charity or anything, because really they aren't going to help me. Sympathy, I've got friends and family for that. I don't need people on YouTube giving me any sympathy or whatever. It's not going to help me in any way. If you do write some comment about it, expressing sympathy, whatever, I appreciate it, but it's not necessarily. As far as money goes, as long as I have money for my treatment, for my medication, I'm fine, and I have that. I have enough for that. Torticollis itself, though, is a condition that affects the muscles in my neck and shoulders. And what happens is my brain is sending signals, and they don't know why. They don't really know. There's a lot of studying still needed to find out why the brain does this, but it sends signals to the muscles in my neck and shoulders, and it makes my muscles contract like constantly while I'm awake, probably even while I'm asleep, as far as I know. So they're constantly working. In my case, they're mostly on the left side, so they pull my head towards the left shoulder, and my left shoulder gets pulled up a bit. To counteract this, my brain sends signals, or the muscles on the opposite side react to stop my head from literally banging into my left shoulder. So all the muscles in my neck and shoulders are pretty much constantly working. They never really have a rest. And as you can imagine, if you've ever done really strong workouts, they burn, they get sore, they get stressed. Unlike when you exercise and work out, my muscles don't get a rest at all, ever. They're constantly going, and right at the moment I can tell you there's a muscle in the back left of my neck that is burning. It's the only way I can explain it. It's not just sore, it's actually a burning sensation, and it's constantly there. You never get away from it. And it's like people don't seem to understand this. Like if I look back, I was diagnosed 7 years ago, but the symptoms would have started probably 7.5, 8 years ago at least. And like, you don't know, I just wake up with a sore shoulder, sore neck, and you don't think anything of it. You just try to get a bit of rest and hope it comes better. It's nothing serious. But eventually the pain was starting to get too much, so I had to go to doctor. He sent me to a specialist, actually a neurologist. I'm going to say neuroscience, but it's neurology, isn't it? And he diagnosed me with this torticollis, which is apparently fairly common. And since then I've been on treatment, and the treatment is injections. Well, for day to day, I can use pain medication and muscle relaxants to help. And they do help a bit, but really it's just putting it off. It doesn't really solve anything. It's still a constant pain, and it's constant tension. Even with the muscle relaxants, the muscles don't really relax. Like, they will a bit. It feels a bit better, but in general it's just a constant thing. You get constant pain, you get tired a lot, and there's not that much I can do. The treatment, I get injections every 3 months, and there's about 20 injections into the muscle. It goes directly into the muscles on my neck, my shoulders, and even on my back, which has been also been affected by the torticollis, because the muscles in the neck and shoulders are pulling, so they end up affecting the back as well. If you look at me, most days, I'd say most days are pretty good. I don't have that much, you don't notice it that much, or people who look at me don't notice it that much, I should say. I notice it all the time because it's always there. I can always feel the tension, the pain. But if you're looking at me, you may not even notice that I have a tilt, but that's on good days. On bad days, what am I doing? On bad days, you will notice it, and yeah, you'll see my head tilted to the left a bit. You might notice my left shoulder is risen. I don't know what to do at the moment. Anyway, yeah, so if you look at me, you may not even know if I'm having a good day. On bad days, you could notice it if you look carefully, but you may not if you're just having a quick glance. Almost night. What else was I going to say? The treatment is injections into the muscles, and I average about 20 injections. It's usually around 18 to 20 different places where he injects me directly into the muscles, which you can probably imagine is quite painful, but ironically it's a good pain because it distracts me from the normal pain, if that makes sense. So I don't know how to explain it. It's like a different type of pain. So you get the distraction from the main pain, and I think that's something people don't understand. Like, if you've heard of people cutting themselves, quite often this is a reason, because they're in pain, and it does distract. It helps. I remember a couple of months ago I got stung by a wasp in my side, and it was painful, but at the same time it felt really good. Like, it took my mind off the pain I normally have. So how can I? It's not letting me plant. Oh, because I need seeds. Duh. See, I'm not concentrating. Okay, the injections themselves, if you're wondering what they are, it's actually Botox, which most people know it from the cosmetic use, get rid of wrinkles, whatever. Of course, I'm getting injected straight into the muscles, so it doesn't affect any wrinkles, it doesn't make me look younger. It's just a pain in the neck, literally. Yes, I did say literally, and for once actually means literally, because I'm getting injected in the neck, so that's where I'm getting the pain. And to explain how that feels, I would say I usually describe it as being hit around the neck and shoulders with a baseball bat. And that is honestly, if you've ever been hit by a baseball bat, like really hard hit, that is how it really does feel. And but as I said, at the same time it's sort of a relief because it's a different type of pain. And people, I don't know, people don't understand the whole condition itself. Like, well, this happened not long after I was diagnosed. A friend of my wife's, had seen another mutual friend, and I don't know if she's trying to be funny or silly or whatever, but she told this other friend who hadn't seen me in a while that I had a broken neck, which is just, like, it was just a stupid comment, really, and it really annoyed me. And that's one of the reasons why I'm talking about it now, because you don't make stupid comments like that. It's just irrelevant. It's wrong. It's dumb. You got my friend all worked up. It's like, what happened? You broke your neck? It's like, no, I just got bad muscles. Duh. Bloody idiots. Anyway, yeah, I am a bit emotional about that because it really annoys me when people say the wrong thing. It's like, use your brains, people. Don't tell other people, especially friends, that there is something wrong that's not. Just understand what it is. It's a condition. The muscles in my neck and shoulders never stop. That's it. That's all there is. And yes, it does affect my posture. It affects my life. I can't sit here. Well, actually, sitting here playing games is actually a great relief for me. And even talking, it's like distracting. It helps me relax. And this is a great thing because it really does help the situation. It helps me feel better. It helps my neck. And it just helps me carry on doing things, really. A relaxation is one of the most important things to me at the moment. Like sitting at a desk in an office, I could do maybe half an hour before I have to, well, I don't have to lie down, but I just have to get up, because sitting for that length of time at a desk working on a computer, it's just, well, it's not just stressful, but it's physically draining. Like, I get so much more tired now than I used to, and it's not because I'm getting older. It's just the strain on my neck, the pain, the emotional strain. And I read recently someone talking about chronic pain, and I wouldn't call my pain chronic, but I see some similarities. Like, it was saying at the beginning of the day, you start up with so much energy. You have so much in your cup that you can do to that day. On good days, it can be a fair bit. On bad days, you're lucky to get out of bed. And that's something that a lot of people, I don't think, understand. It's like, I have people who will ask me out for dinner or whatever, and yeah, I'd love to go and have some fun, just spend time with them. But so many days I'll get home from work and I just collapse in bed. I'd want to play games with my son or whatever, or go and do something, but you just physically can't get there. I don't know, it's just something that people in general don't understand. They get hurt. It's like, I've invited you out 5 times this month, you haven't come once. And it's like, dude, I'm lying in bed here in pain, I'm exhausted, I physically can't get up out of bed. I can't even get up and sit in front of the TV to play a game with my son at the moment. And these are the things that, yeah, I've said it so many times that people don't understand it. It's like you have to keep repeating yourself. And if you know someone who is in pain, just be a bit more understanding. If they can't make it out to see you, maybe you could go to their house, but always check with them first, because there's nothing worse than people turning up at your house and you need to entertain them, but you're just not in the mood. You haven't got the energy or the strength to get up. But in a lot of situations, it's a great alternative, because we're more relaxed at home, we're more comfortable, especially for people who don't like going out in public in general, especially, well, whatever their condition is. It may be torticollis, it could be any pain-related condition or disease. And it's just really understanding that we don't want to lose friends, but at the same time we can't physically do these things anymore. And yeah, it's, if anything, just that's the one thing I'd like people to understand about people who are in pain, who can't go out and do the normal things. Like, I used to ride motorbikes, and I love riding motorbikes. It's the best feeling in the world for me. But because of my neck, I can still drive. My doctor's cleared me. I could still drive a car. He said if I'm having a good day and have flexibility in my neck, because Okay, with the neck, I do have some trouble in turning my head. I can do it, but at the same time, what was I talking about? I lost my... Dang. Okay. Still touch. Alright. At the same time, if I'm having a bad day, I can't turn my neck properly, so riding a motorbike is pretty much out for me at this stage. But it's something I'd still love to do if I could. Yeah, and other things, sports and activities in general. It can get difficult. I'm losing my train of thought now. Where was I? I think I've probably gone on about this way too long. But if you understand, I hope you understand, this is something that is important to me. It's a big part of my life now, and that's what it becomes. And it's for everyone who's got a chronic condition, and yes, mine's chronic. I will never get over it. It's never going to go away. And it does become annoying when people say, oh, your neck is still bad. It's like, it's for life. It's genetic. I can't get rid of it. Okay, there's no cure. It's going to be with me forever. I can have good days, bad days. I can even have good months and bad months. But as far as it going away, it will always be there. And yeah, it's just something I have to live with. I've grown accustomed to it in general, and I'm getting there. And I think I'm talking in circles again now. So I think what I will do is I will finish the video here. If anyone does have questions about Torticollis, definitely ask them. I'm open to it. I do get sick of people asking the same questions all the time, but if you don't know anything and I haven't covered in this video and you'd like to know, maybe you know someone who has it and you don't want to ask them, go ahead, ask me. Put it in the comments and let me know what you'd like to know, what you're interested in, or anything in general. You can ask me about anything about me if you want. I'm a fairly open person. If you want to know my real name, it's Jeff. I don't know what else to say at the moment, but by all means, if you have questions, let me know and I will try to answer them either in comments or maybe in a future video, depending on whether I think a lot of people might be interested in it. Alright, but for now, I'm going to sign off. Well, I think I've gone for almost 30 minutes. I'm usually a very quiet person too. Okay, I will catch you all later, and next time we'll do something different. Alright, bye for now. Have a good one.